This is a cabin I built up in the mountains. It's all made out of recycled wood. I did purchase OSB for the walls and roof, and steel siding for the roof and walls, and some insulation, but other than that it was all recycled materials made from pallets and other wooden cases and stuff. So this is the area where I actually cleared to put the cabin in, and here I'm building the pylons to put the cabin on, and the rafters. You can also see some of the trees that I removed, and that'll become wood for the stove that'll be going into the cabin. I put the pylons into the ground, and then rebar into those, and then bolts into the frame so it would be secured to the ground. However, it's not a permanent structure by any means, so it can be moved. And I'm using mainly 4x4s and 3x3s. And there you can see one of the bolts going into the pylon, securing it in case of high winds. And there the structure is complete for the floor. And I make it sit off the ground, so it is going to be shedding a lot of snow. We get a lot of snow in our area, so it will be high off the ground, away from the snow. As you can see, there's a bubble wrap. I don't know the name of it, but it's a bubble wrap that's used for insulating things. It gives a few R value and kind of seals the wind out and stuff like that. So I used that on the floor, and then I placed OSB on the floor to cover that as a subfloor. I do know you can get the bubble wrap on Amazon. It's got a foil on both sides, and it looks like packing bubble wrap, but it's got foil attached to it. And I think you can get it in about 400 square foot rolls. Next, I got the subfloor on. I started working on the ceiling trusses, and those are also made out of some 4x4, some 3x3 posts that I got. And then there you can see some of the OSB that I cut out for the rafters, trusses. And then after I finished the trusses, I started on the walls, and so it'll show here the first wall going up, and I think I only did about a wall a day. When you recycle all this wood and stuff, it comes in pallets and cases and all kinds of forms, so you have to do a lot of tearing apart and preparing the wood and the 2x4s for building. So there's a lot of downtime from building, just trying to prepare the wood for the building, from all the pallets and cartons that I got. So 3 of the windows were ones I was able to get for free, and I did purchase a few other windows just to give more light inside. They're all moving opening windows. And there I'm finished the 4th wall, and you can see the doorway there. And then I started on the loft floors there, because I wanted to use the lofts as scaffolding. So the wall height's about 8 feet there down to the floor, and I decided to put the loft just under the headers there, so that it would minimize me losing headspace above the loft. That way you can actually stand up and you get almost about 6 feet at the peak of the loft. So there you can see the lofts. And then I had this little guy visiting me, eating something while I was working away for about 10 minutes there. He stayed watching me, wasn't afraid at all. I then started to put up OSB around there to make it more rigid, and it sure did. It got really solid once I started putting the OSB up. And there you can see some of the back walls. And I also did this pretty much on my own. This is one person, although I did have my son help one day with the trusses and putting those up. And that was interesting and busy day, but we got a lot done. And there's from the back side, you can see the OSB. And then I cut out the windows and door for placement. I had to do a lot of thinking when there's one person to put these up. I need to do a lot of bracing to kind of help hold it in place. And then there we're putting up the trusses. And that was more towards late in the day. So you can see the ends there with the gambrel. And I actually changed the roof height so it's a lot steeper because we get a lot of snow. I want that snow to shed quite a bit. So, and there's all the OSB on top, complete at that point. And then there you can see some of the more of that bubble wrap that'll actually go inside once we start doing the walls. Some of the windows, views up from the loft. And I didn't have many pictures of this, but I actually wrapped it with the kind of the roofing wrap, felt tar paper. And that sealed it because we had some rain and even some snow here early in the season, and I wanted to at least get it covered, and so I wrapped it. And then here you can see I'm putting up the sheet metal on the side, the steel roofing, and I did all the walls first after I did the windows and doors, installed those. And there you can see I got all 4 sides. And the height of the cabin is from the ground is about 14 feet up or so, minus the lift off the ground there. And then there, because I was doing all this myself too, the roof there, the brown roof, I put that on myself, and that went on, and I think I did that in 2 days. I made a hole for a stove pipe, and then I also used all the flooring in there is recycled. So you can see it just came from whatever I could get, and some are from machine shops and other places, just pallets alongside the road. I made some temporary steps going into the cabin for now. I plan to make a actual porch and awning over the top of the front section at another time. And here's basically with the stove in it. I got a little $200 stove from Amazon, and it's actually a tent stove, but it's actually designed for a cabin bigger than this. I don't think I said in the beginning, but the cabin is 12 by 16. And inside is about 14 feet to the peak. So, and that again is the floor. It's kind of a rustic floor. And you can see some of the scrap on the left-hand side there is, I'll be using that for the starting fires. it was left over, so nothing gets wasted. It all gets used in some way or another. And then somebody donated a futon, and so we place that in there for now. So if somebody wants to sleep in there, they can, and see the windows, and they all open and have screens. We had some mattresses, so I threw a couple of twin mattresses up on one on each loft, and then again, that insulation is there for later time when we get past winter, and we'll finish the walls on the inside. Make it a little more insulated and livable. So those lofts are 4 by 12 feet across. 4 feet by 12. Put a couple of lawn chairs in there for now, for seating. Put a thermometer in there so I could tell how good the stove was doing. And threw in a rocking chair and a little spool table and stack of wood, and even that box for the stack of wood was it's just something recycled and reused for holding the wood, but I just picked it up free. Got a welcome mat from the dollar store. And like I said, we got some snow, so I wanted to get that roof on pretty soon there, because temperatures were dropping, and it was cold putting up that sheet metal when it's wet and rainy. And there you can kind of see the stovepipe going up through. And I'll plan to fence that in so that that's protected from anybody getting burned. That's another little project. So the spools I can pick up free too. There's electrical places where you can just pick those up, and they're like just giving them away. So it probably cost in here probably saved me half the price of the cabin. It's just in recycled materials, mainly 2x4s, but 4x4 posts and 3x3 posts, and this 1x stuff on the floor, which will also be for the walls too, is all just free recycled wood. It's a little stove, I think it was a $200 stove on Amazon. It has a warming rack there, and it did a good job. I've already had a fire in there several times, and it's a nice stove there. So a little light come through the window there in the loft, and that cedar plank there is just temporary, but if we need to get across real fast, we can do that, but it's just a temporary piece, not actually attached at this point. I still need to make ladders for the lofts and getting up there, and I'm actually looking at something a little different from most people do in a cabin and stuff for a loft. So that's yet to come. So stay tuned for more videos to come on this as it goes, but it will be probably over the course of the next year at least before we finish this, or I finish it, and we'll see. So but it's temporarily ready, and at least we can warm it up and stuff and work somewhat in there. But we'll got a bunch of snow on top of my wood right now, so we'll have to do that a little later and check that out. as time goes on. So, but there's the cabin, and it was a lot of it was fun, but it was also hard too and stuff, working alone and stuff to get that up there and getting everything situated. That sheet metal was difficult and not too hard to cut, but just hard to hold and stuff while you're attaching it. So anyways, just wanted to share that with you, and watch for more videos to come on this project as it continues. And please subscribe and like. Thanks for watching.